You knew this day was coming. In fact, you asked for this day to come. Hey everybody, it is Mica, and whether you're returning or you're newly subscribed or you just ran across this video at random, you're probably wondering, what's this dude doing surrounded by all these plants? Well, in a lot of the online communities I belong to, in the Discord servers, YouTube circles, just random game circles, I'm always known as that elven druid dude because I have a love for elves in fantasy and folklore and mythology, and also I can grow pretty much anything. I have a large garden inside, I have large gardens outside, I'm very outdoors, very woodsy sort of person. So yeah, I just get a lot of, teasing about being the elven druid, and honestly I'm totally cool with that, because if there's anything I could be known for online, an elven druid is certainly not the worst thing I could be known as. So yeah, totally running with it. But whenever I do podcasts or I stream or I do whatever, people can always see behind me. There's always plants behind me. They're always commenting and they're always saying, hey, you should just do something on your plants. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop babbling and I'm just going to jump into it. I'm going to highlight some of my favorite plants for you and then we'll just go from there. So let's get into it. So the first two plants I want to talk about are the ones I call my survivors. And the reason I call them my survivors is because when I moved into my house, they accidentally got left out on the back deck overnight. We had a little bit of a freeze and they almost died. They got brown and crusty and blah, blah, blah. But they've kind of bounced back and they've become really strong, really big, and really beautiful. So yeah, the first one here is a ZZ plant, is what's commonly referred to. It's called a ZZ plant because its actual scientific name is a Zamiococcus zamifolia, I believe. I might be mispronouncing it. You know how I am with the names. Anyway, this one is a very easy to care for plant. It doesn't have a lot of light requirements. It doesn't have a lot of water requirements. It has these very bright and shiny leaves that are very pretty, and it will just grow. It's really great. This also comes in a pitch black variety that I've been looking for. I've been wanting one for so long, but they're really hard to find. They're really expensive when you do. But yeah, so this is a ZZ plant. I really like it, and I'm trying to set things down without bumping my microphone. So if there's any sketchy sounds, that's why, and I apologize. So the next one is a big boy. Gonna have to grab him and pull him over. Oh boy. So this one is one you may recognize. It is commonly known as a money tree, but its actual name is a Pachira aquatica. These things are normally the ones you see with the trunks that are braided going up. Now this one is unbraided. I didn't keep up with the braids. I got it when it was this tall, but I didn't keep up with the braids because when I was in university, I took a physics course just for fun because that's kind of nerd I am. And my professor had one of these in her office and she never braided it, and I liked the way it looked. They don't need to be braided. I don't know why people braid them, but they do. So this one, like I said, almost died out in the cold, and it has bounced back and it shot up like crazy. I mean, when we moved in here 2 years ago, it was like this big, and then all of a sudden, now it's almost as tall as I am, and I'm 5'9". So yeah, so this thing has just come out of nowhere. These things are kind of particular and picky. They don't like to be moved around a lot. So if you find a spot that they grow well in your house or your apartment, leave them there. So, but they're very cheap. They're very easy to find, at least here in the United States. And yeah, I highly suggest them. Just make sure you have the room for them, because like you see, they get really big. Let me move this boy back over here. It's probably not as heavy as I make it look. So the next one I want to talk about is this. This is a pothos. These are very common in the United States. I'm sure they're common all over the world. I couldn't see why not. These things grow like crazy. You can find them in any nursery. You can find them at Walmart. You can probably find them in the market. I mean, you'll find these things everywhere, and that's because they're so easy to propagate. If you want these, I highly suggest just buying one, because I bought one, this one actually, and I have tons of them all over my house, because you can just literally just snip the leaves off and plant them, and they'll grow into a whole new plant. It's very easy and very new. In fact, this one needs to be clipped again, but I'll probably wait till spring just because spring, more plants. So yeah, these ones are very cheap. They're very easy to care for. I actually have another variety. This one you'll recognize from my desk in my office if you watch anything. This is a Marble Queen version of a pothos. And it's called a Marble Queen because it has white marbling on its leaves. It's very nice, it's very pretty. These things are not hard to find either. As soon as this one, I just bought this one not long ago. As soon as this one gets big enough, I'm gonna propagate it because more pothos in my house, that's all I need. This one is the next one I'm going to talk about. This one's commonly referred to as a snake plant or a mother-in-law's ton or a viper bowstring harp. You'll probably recognize it from pretty much any office environment or any mall. And the reason it's kept in offices and malls is because it's so easy. It has very little light requirements. It has very little water requirements. This is one you can set it and forget it for the most part, and it will be great. Now these things are a little bit more expensive when you buy them in the store, at least around here, because they are so highly sought after, especially when they're really big. So what I do with these is I buy them at the nursery when they're super tiny. Like I bought these, the leaves were probably only like 2 inches tall. I bought 4 of them. It cost me like maybe $6, and I put them in this pot, and this is 8 months roughly. Yeah, about 8 months worth of growth. So these things have grown fairly well in the past 8 months, and I keep them far away from my windows and everything, and they get very little water. They're just very happy. I have a few of these. These things will get really big and they'll grow straight up. They're just very easy to take care of. So highly recommend if you don't have a lot of light or if you travel a lot and you don't want to, take care of plants while you're gone. Now, next ones I'm going to look at are these. These are my Calatheas and Maranta plants. Now these are commonly referred to as prayer plants, but I think technically this one is the only one that's a prayer plant. I'm talking about these 3 right here. I think this one's technically the only one that's a prayer plant. This one is a rattlesnake Calathea. And the reason they're known as prayer plants is because they go up and they down, they move around throughout the entire day. So they're not just stationary, they're very active and they're very mobile. I really like them because the leaves have different colors on the bottom. You can see they're red underneath and they're very colorful. They have lots of patterns. I have these all over my kitchen table. My kitchen table is covered in different prayer plants because it has just the perfect lighting for them. These things do require a little bit more humidity than other plants, so you're going to want to keep a humidifier around them. With the winter and the humidity dying, you can tell this is kind of getting a little crusty at the ends, and that's due to lack of humidity. So I just actually bought them a humidifier so I can up that humidity around them. But yeah, these things are not too expensive. They are a little bit more finicky. Like I said, they need the low light. They need to be kept a little bit on the moist side, and they need high humidity. So, but yeah, they're fairly, if you grow them well, they'll flower, they'll bloom. And they all have different colors and different patterns. They're just very fun, and like I said, they move around. So yeah, great plants to have. Now the next one, this one I'm not going to go too much into, but this is a coffee plant. This one I leave sitting with my prayer plants because it has a high humidity requirement as well. The next one I want to look into is this one. This is a Dieffenbachia, commonly known as a dumb cane. This one's a little bit more picky, and it's really easy to kill these. In fact, I've had a couple before, and I killed them both, and I just threw them in my compost and bought another. This one, though, is actually taking. This one was in a 4-inch pot, which is one of these pots, little tiny one, when I bought it, and it's growing like crazy. I'm probably going to have to put this into another pot very soon because it's just growing unbelievably fast. So I think I kind of hit the nail on the head when I put it in a new place and everything. So this one though is a little bit more on the poisonous side, so you definitely want to wash your hands after you touch it. You don't want to have this around pets. You don't want this around cats or dogs or anything like that because it is a little bit more poisonous. And you want to be careful around kids too, I guess. Just make sure your dogs are safe. That's all I care about. No, kidding. But yeah, so that Dieffenbachia, dumb cane, they'll get very big. So, and the leaves will get very giant. So yeah, they're a little bit more finicky, but they're worth it because they're big. And the last one I really want to go into is this one, because this is one that I searched for a long time. This is known as a friendship plant or a UFO plant or a pancake plant, depending on where you are. Now this is very common in Europe, especially in the Scandinavian countries, but it was incredibly hard to find here in the United States until about a year ago. About a year ago they came over and they're all over the place. So you can get these fairly cheap right now. When I bought these, I paid $30 for a tiny one. But the reason they're called the friendship plant is because you might be able to see here, they have all these little sprouts and these little babies. They grow straight from the mother plant, and all you have to do is clip them off, put them in some soil, and they'll grow into a whole new plant. Like this one I showed you earlier with the pot. This is an actual clipping. I don't think it's from this one, but this is an actual clipping that I propagated just a few weeks ago, actually. So it's actually kind of taken hold already and it's starting to regrow. But yeah, so then you can basically clip these and give them to people as you see fit. I have so many of these. Like I said, I bought one that was this big when I bought it for $30-something. And now this isn't the mother plant. This is actually another one of the sisters from this one, because they all came from the same mother plant. But the mother plant right now is huge. It was actually too big for me to actually bring over to do this. But I have these all over my house. Like it's to the point where I just want to start giving them away to people because I just have so many of them. So yeah, if you want another plant that is very easy to propagate and that you can have a lot of by just buying one, definitely look into getting, it's a Plea pepermioides is what the actual name is. So there's that one. That's all I really wanted to cover today, though. I just kind of wanted to give you, a little like taste of all the plants I have in my house, because I know people have been asking about it. So if you want me to do more videos on plants, definitely let me know, because I'm more than happy to do more plant videos. I can do ones on transplanting plants, on light conditions, water conditions, pest control, whatever you want. If you do want something right now, however, if you're having a problem with a certain plant, you can always message me here or on Twitter, or you can look at the YouTuber named Rayne Oakes. She is someone that I always look to when it comes to plant advice. When I buy a new plant, I'm not exactly sure how to care for it. I'll check her channel to see if she's done a video about that plant or about the care of that plant. So she's definitely good to check out. I will link her site below for you just in case you want to take a look at some of the other stuff that she's done. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed the little, deviation away from games and just taking a look at the plants. Like I said, you wanted it, so I delivered. If you want to know anything else, just let me know. I'll do videos on whenever you really want me to. So, that being said, as per the usual, it has been a hoot. And until next time, have fun.